And I'm live. Okay, good. Hello there, friends. It is still October, so I'm getting the Hofbrau original from the München Brauerei. So Hofbrau House, or HB in Munich. It's funny because it's the same initials that I have, Hagebenke and Henrik. So that's a thing. So last October beer for 2023, I guess. Skål! Who's with us? Farväl Johan, Olkar, Greg, Sick, Uggluk, Kalle, Scouser, Path Trampled by Deer, Blue Ögon, Nutter Tool, Airfolk, Pupapu, Charles, John, Apa, Normal Citizen, Mark Serbo's with us today as well. Cheers, Mark. I am extremely tired. I've slept like 2 hours tonight. I have so much bullshit at work, so I've had a hard time sleeping. For some reason, that means I'm starting to lose my voice. After the stream, I'm going straight to bed. So, anyway, as the title says, I applied for 2 new licenses. One of which I've applied for earlier, but the police fucked up my application. So I guess I'm gonna show you what I'm buying. So the Perun X16, but the one I'm getting is with an 8.5-inch barrel, and it's 300 blackout. But it's basically this with the same stock, folding stock, and all that good stuff. I'll just put a red dot on it and a vertical foregrip or something and call it done, because it's pretty good from scratch. So yeah, we'll see whenever they give me that license. And on a hunting license, I'm getting the Ruger S4, and it's mainly because of it's supposedly a lightweight hunting rifle, and I'm only going to use this for hunting. I already have an AR-10 and 65 Creedmoor, which I use for target shooting and all that. So this will be for hunting. I'm just gonna make some hunting loads, might make some videos about that, may see how accurate I can get it. Doesn't have to be that accurate to hit the moose at 100 meters. It's gonna be nice, or a hog. So this is nice if I want to go. So this version, for example, with the Picatinny rail all over, you can put like some night vision optics on it or something. That's nice. That's a bit harder to do with regular hunting rifles. You can put a clip on some regular scope, or you can put something on the rail. It's gonna be nice. Obviously I'm gonna suppress it, but I'm not gonna do that much with it after that. Some people say this looks kind of shit. I think it looks nice with the AR-15 style lower and larger magwell. Some people have said that there's some issues with this rifle. I don't know. We'll see. Ruger usually makes good shit. So yeah, that's the 2 rifles I applied for. We'll see what else I'll get. Noble Carl says a wild Florida man has appeared. Yep, that's Mark. Greg had his MR308 application approved today. That's good. That rifle is probably God damn it, didn't I have a tin of snooze here just now? I put it in my pocket. No. There it is. Almost a catastrophe. I found it. The little panic that sets in when you can't find your tin of snooze. Yeah, it's not nice. There we go. What was it talking about? Yeah, so I hope the S4 will work fine. I don't require it to be some long-range sniper rifle or anything. If it's good for hunting, like these kind of groupings at 100 meters, that would be fine for me. Kalle Sirén applied for an air precision M4A1. That's probably a good rifle. Air precision makes good shit. Our Fox says, hope you get rest for FOSS. I'm still waiting for my NPR. Yeah, I've ordered it, so hopefully it will show up at the same time my license shows up, so we'll see. We'll see. Everyone and their grandmother tries to buy an S4. Magnus Dahlberg says, a bunch of YouTubers jumped on the bandwagon on the S4. Yeah, I can imagine that. It has a good price, even in Sweden. It's not that expensive compared to other AR-10s. It's like less than half the price of an MR308, and it's not an MR308 is not twice as, or even more than twice as good as an S4. I can't imagine that. What was the first gun you applied for? Of these two, I applied for them at the same time. But you mean in my life? I don't even remember. It might have been a shotgun for grouse hunting sometime in the early 1990s. When I was a teenager. Stag arms and your precision, same parts. I don't know. As far as I know, your precision makes their own shit for a good price. So yeah, let's have a look at the news, shall we? Boop. So some guy had a license for a firearm in 22 long rifle, and the police nabbed him for having 22 short. And it's like, if you have a free 57 Magnum revolver, you can shoot 38 special in it as well. Both rounds fit in the same chamber. Same with 44 Magnum and 44 Special as well. It's basically just a subsonic variant of the same round, pretty much. 22 short is just silly. No one uses 22 short, but it still works fine in a 22 long rifle. At least bolt actions, I guess. Or revolvers. But yeah, he got sentenced to gun crime, blah blah blah, for it. So that shit happened in Sweden. That's just ridiculous. And yeah, they can't catch the real criminals, the people who shoot up each other, bomb buildings and shit. But that was a 70-year-old senior citizen, basically, who got nabbed for that. Why would you do that? Number one, it's wrong. The verdict was wrong. They had faulty information in the verdict, like wrong type of ammunition, wrong number of cartridges the police took. A bunch of shit was just wrong, and they only based the verdict on what the police who handled the license said. And those people don't know anything about anything. They're totally incompetent. They don't know shit about the law or guns or anything. They have a little script they read from. Idiots. So, as you guys might know by now, for example, an AR-15 or an AR-10 is perfectly fine to buy on a hunting license if it has an 18-inch barrel or longer. If you want it with a short barrel, you have to buy it on a sport shooting license. That's fine as well. But according to the tabloid Aftonbladet, Dödsvapnet, the death weapon in Brussels, is now legal in Sweden. It's been legal. It's always been legal in Sweden. It's just that you can buy it on a hunting license now. So yeah, they illustrate it with from some picture from where the terrorists murdered the Swedish people, and some hunters dragging a moose they got. This is ridiculous. Once upon a time, when the shooting sports in Sweden became a thing in the late 1800s, early 1900s, Aftonbladet, the guy who actually started the newspaper way back when, he was, even though he was left-wing and all that, he, together with people from the right side of the political spectrum, made citizen militias, same as you can find in the United States, and they armed them with, for the time, military firearms. What was military firearms back then, they armed people in militias. And the guy who started this newspaper did that. I have a picture somewhere where that person put an ad in Aftonbladet, this newspaper's in his newspaper, where he says, I bought a shipment of military rifles from Great Britain. Come to the newspaper office in Stockholm and buy them while the stock lasts. Shit like that was okay back then. Now they call it weapons of death, and try to compare hunters in Sweden with Muslim terrorists murdering Swedish people. Now, why would you do that? So my theory is that one of the reasons they actually started allowing like an AR-10 on a hunting license is because people with a bunch of stars on their shoulders got afraid of really angry moose coming over the border from the east. And the Swedish military will have a similar weapon in a couple of years, the AK-6 or whatever you want to call it. So it's just for the defense of Sweden, basically. And when the police officers in Stockholm started refusing licenses for these firearms, someone went to their office and told them to stop messing about and allow people to own these firearms. That's literally what happened. Not sure when or whom did that, but basically what the internal papers said that I've seen was that the police chiefs in Stockholm, the higher-ups, basically told the people handling licenses that stop doing that shit. People need their AR-10s and whatnot. So if that is a thing, why would this paper, the same newspaper who likes to hug Hamas terrorists and shit like that, left-wing assholes, why would they not want regular people armed with these things? I think it's pretty simple. They're traitors. Let's continue on. About stupid police officers. So some farmer tried to go around some car accident on a road, and he tried to go over his field, but the police officer didn't want that, so the police officer drove into the field, followed the farmer when he drove his whatever this is called, farming equipment, and basically stopped in front of it, pulled out his handgun, threatened them, then climbed up and OC sprayed them all inside of the whatever it's called. And now he's gonna be sentenced to basically tjänstefel, which means that he did something wrong at work. That's the verdict. If I did that, if I pulled a gun on someone and then sprayed them with OC spray, I would be in jail forever. This guy will even get to keep his job as a police officer. That's bullshit. That guy should not be a police officer. But yeah, one law for them, another law for us. Cheers. So this is another guy, senior citizen. This one is about 60 years old. So we have to still have to renew our licenses every 5 years. This guy, usually we get a little piece of paper. I got it the last time from actually, I didn't even get a piece of paper from the police. The police actually phoned me up and told me, oh, don't forget to renew your license. I would have forgotten this summer. They called me. And I managed to get the application to renew my Glock in time. This guy didn't get a reminder. And what he did was, when he figured out what was happening, he went to the police and turned in his Glock to the police and said, here, have it. I don't want to break the law. I forgot to send in a piece of paper with my signature on. Still, he's sentenced for a gun crime. They cannot get the people actually murdering each other or innocent people. They're going after families in their homes now and killing them and blowing their apartments up and shit. They can't get those people, but they really do get the 60-year-olds for getting a piece of paperwork. Cheers, that's police doing hard work. So let's continue on. This is not gun related, I guess. Any government agency, and we have about 500 plus of them, will know everything about you. They will take your passport photos and run them through facial recognition in Sweden. They will have your DNA. They will have everything about you, and every government agency will be able to know everything about you, what you do when you go to the doctors and everything. And the police will be able to do secret surveillance of you, put Trojans on your computer, on your phone and everything, and just surveil whatever. And they won't even have to have a suspicion of a crime to do this. They can do it whatever they want, however they want. I'm going to guess the next step in Sweden, at least, is going to be a social credit system like in China, because they have everything else from China. So the social credit system will probably show up sooner or later. And one of the big parts of that is controlling how you use your money. So, and when they can control how you use your money, you can only buy what's approved by the state, basically. You get penalized if you try to buy something else. That's a very ingenious way to control people. They'll just make all money digital, and then you can't really control it. And they'll take a lot of power from you and give it to the government. So yeah, that shit is going on, and it's accelerating in Sweden. Yeah, so that's a clever plan. Bring in 1 million people that's good for nothing, and will create riots and support Hamas and shit like that. When they do bullshit things, enact bullshit laws and try to solve the problem you created. Appa says, what about the Perun in 308? Yeah, I thought about that, but I fired the Perun in 308 when I visited the manufacturer of the Perun last summer. They only had a prototype back then with a 3D printed lower, but it worked fine. It was a nice firearm, but it's big and heavy. And I want the 308 to be used for hunting, and the Ruger S4 is a little bit lighter. And I think I'm going to lug that bad boy around all over the forest of northern Sweden. So I want as light a rifle as possible. Oppa says, isn't all hunting weapons used to cause death? Yes, you are correct. That is the purpose of a hunting rifle. Mark says, holy shit, I just saw a crazy person riding a bicycle. I've seen him riding around without a shirt for the last 15 years. It's literally insane. We had a guy like that in Stockholm back in the day. Year around, it gets a little bit colder in Stockholm than in Florida, Mark. And year around he had sandals, shorts, and nothing else. Year around. You can go there, it's like -10 or something in a snowstorm, and he will show up totally red from being cold and just walk around Stockholm like that. Spectator wants to know, any opinions about Armalite M15 free gun? I don't know. Armalite is, well, they probably make good stuff. You're gonna have to look at, if it's just a regular direct impingement gun, usually you can't go wrong. Just check and make sure that they have a good reputation. And then just look at what you get with the rifle. Is it a handguard you can use for your purpose? Does it have some kind of fancy trigger? Is it mil-spec trigger? Stuff like that. Just make sure you know what you're going to use it for, and buy something that is as closely configured to what you're going to use it for as possible, for as good of a price as possible. And if everything is going to be expensive in Sweden, so EDC Mike says, take a really good Prilla. I just did, you missed it. Any news on new gun laws passing? Nothing's going to happen in Sweden until March 2024. Then a very big investigation into basically changing everything, removing 5-year licenses, shit like that, is going to be presented, and we will know more then. So yeah. Spectator says the Armalite 1 has a Timney trigger and a match barrel. That sounds really good. Timney makes excellent triggers, and match barrels, yeah, well, if it's good, it's good. Path Trampled by Deer says, only one way they'll get my DNA. They take the DNA of everyone in Sweden at birth. and put it in a registry. They've done that since like 1960s or something. Is it a KPU registry or something? I have to Google that. Give me a second. I don't remember what it's called. I'm finding a bunch of motions about making a DNA registry, but we had a politician murdered, was it in the 1990s? I don't remember when it was. Anna Lind. And they used that registry to get the murderer. KPU something. I have removed myself from that registry anyway. So figure out what that registry is and remove yourself from it. It's possible to do. YouTube's cracking down on ad blockers now. Yeah, I noticed, but those little pop-ups about you can't have an ad blocker got removed for me at least. I don't see them anymore. So yeah, I haven't watched an ad online since, I don't know, since just after ads online started popping up. Oppa says, any competitions for AR-15s and AR-10s that does not require taking the IPSC course? You have to be part of a shooting club. You have to be, which has to use those firearms in some way. Then you can compete with them at a club level. It can be IPSC, it can be something else. Depends on the shooting club. But basically, it requires a shooting club. If you're using them in a hunting context, there's probably ways you can do that with, like shooting at the running moves, little paper moves, target going back and forwards, shit like that. You can do with an AR as well, since they're AR-10 at least, since they're good for hunting now. The Devil's Bee says, Anna Lind died when I was 1 month before I was born, so 20 years ago. Okay, well, you're a young guy. I must have been 26 years old when she died then. It was a while ago. Fall Weather Friend says, that DNA registry is supposed to be anonymized, so I won't hold my breath on them honoring a removal request. Nah, me neither. But I did get the removal approved. If you want to get removed from registries in Sweden, Socialstyrelsen is the government agency where you can mail them and ask to be removed from every registry possible. For example, well, I got removed from all the registries, all the bullshit they put down on me. It's easy to do. Just you can request that. There's still laws that says you can request a removal. They probably have saved copies, of course, but still, it's worth a little effort. Not that I am secret in any way, shape, or form. I just don't like being in registries. Trying to stay super ninja secret while I'm live streaming on YouTube. Yeah, right. Pans wants to know, how's Europe going to look like in 5 years or so? Pretty much every country is fed up and voting in slightly better parties. It's too late. Europe is fucked. Doesn't matter. Give it 10 years, give it 15 years. Doesn't matter. In a longer scenario, Europe is fucked. It's going to be like the Middle East 2.0. So yeah, that's a thing. Robert is going to uninstall his ad blocker. Which one am I using? Let's have a look. So, first of all, I'm using Brave. I'm surfing through a firewall that basically black holes all ad servers, and I have a subscription on lists that lists all known ad servers, and it just black holes all of them. On top of that, let's see here, I have... God damn it. So I have Ghostery, privacy ad blocker. I have uBlock Origin. And I have fluff busting Purity as well for Facebook, I guess that is. But I'm never on Facebook anymore, so that's what I'm using. Greg wants to know if you can access a shooting range without being a club member. Usually not. No. There's a bunch of insurances and shit like that won't cover you if you are not a member. Some shooting ranges will allow guests. Depends. Panzer says uBlock Origin seems to be a good one. Yes, uBlock Origin has been the best ad blocker for years. AdBlock Plus sold itself out, and companies can buy in to AdBlock, and AdBlock won't block them. So AdBlock is meaningless. uBlock Origin is better. It doesn't take as much memory as well. So uBlock Origin is the best. But I combined it with Ghostery and it works fine. Mark Serbo, okay, now I'm at work. What did I miss? Me whining about politicians and Sweden and Europe being fucked. Pretty much. Just look at all the demonstrations supporting terrorists all over Europe. Shit, you have that in the US as well. It's ridiculous. It's like, look at all the terrorists doing ISIS shit, you know, and just trying to do like a mini genocide on Jews or something, murdering babies, raping and pillaging and just doing horrendous shit. And then the left all over Europe and the US expects people to cry over terrorists. That's fucking stupid. EDC Mike, hear anything about shotgun mag capacity in hunting? Yes, it's still as fucked as it used to be. 2 rounds in a magazine, 1 in the chamber, and you're not allowed to do anything to the magazine. You're not allowed to have 1 magazine tube on the shooting range and another one while hunting. That's not allowed. You're not allowed to fuck with it. It's a stupid rule, but it's a rule. So don't fuck with your nerfed magazine tubes on shotguns while you have it on a hunting license. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, almost out of beer, people, and I'm super tired. So yeah. Mark says, yeah, we have more and more crazy, ridiculous shit going on every day. Yep. It is very stupid. You actively lose intelligence if you read the news nowadays. I feel like that's what's happening. It's like trying to make you stupider. Let's just go to the regular tabloid and look what it says about shit. So let's go to that tabloid and see what's on the front page. Look, it's almost white because I remove all the little commercial shit. Yeah, so another shooting just now, and a bunch of whiny shit about how sorry we should be about the dead terrorists. Yeah, this is pretty much all bullshit. Oh, Hamas doesn't know where the hostages are. They killed them, obviously. Just fucking nuke the place. And it's all over and we can go on with our lives and forget about those assholes. Yeah, so never read the news. It's just stupid. You get stupider by the second if you read them. Any opinion about HS pistols? What is that? HS pistols. Is it HS product.hr? Oh, do they make pistols as well? So they make the VHS too. So if I didn't have my Stader AUG this one would be very interesting for me because it's a European bullpup rifle that takes standard mags and has all the ergonomics you would like, but I don't know anything about their handgun. So what do they have? It looks like are these the same people who makes those MMPs that's sold in the US? They look kind of similar. So yeah, a tiny one like this with a threaded barrel would be very James Bond. Oh, SF line, Special Forces. Didn't I see something with a threaded barrel? Is it only the full size ones that has threaded barrels? I guess you can get them any military. Okay. Hello, I really want to be a bullpup G36. Looks cool though. Whatever. Boop. Yeah, I don't know anything about those handguns. I have the VHS2 rifle. I have dry fired it, and if I remember correctly, the trigger was okay-ish for a bullpup. Ooh, De La Carlia J880 says he's ordered VHS 2S 20-inch barrel. That is nice. That is nice. I hope you like it. Tell me all about it. Join the Discord server and tell us all about that rifle when you get it. Yeah, 20-inch one. I really want to sell a couple of hunting rifles and get like another 5.56 rifle, like a VHS2 or something like that, or a SIG STG 90 or something like that on a hunting license, because that would just be funny. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I might do that later next year. It's a lot of money, and I just ordered 2 rifles, so that's a big chunk of change. Martin Borg says, "Is it true about license that got declined that it was higher up people that said you need to arm the Swedish Second Army, the hunters?" That is the rumor that's going around. Not sure if that is actually correct. But yeah, it would be logical. It would make sense, because that is traditionally what the authorities have done when they're afraid of the Russians. They make sure people are a little better armed, and they arm themselves. It's cheap, doesn't cost taxpayer money. So I hope that's what happened, because I would like it to be that way. But it also is a little bit too good to be true that someone actually has a couple of brain cells rubbed together. And I'm not that confident in the Swedish authorities. Right, I'm all out of beer. Any last questions in chat before I go take a nap? Greg says, if you apply to be removed from lists in Socialstyrelsen, are you out also from Mr. Code and all that shit? No. It's kind of hard to get totally removed from everything. You have to have a protected identity and shit like that. But it's worth it to get removed from as much as possible. Jan wants to know what AR to get. The one you want, the one you have a need for, and the one you can afford. That's the AR to get. Just take a good hard long look at your wallet and buy as much AR as you can afford. Do it. You have my blessing. Go in peace. Go in pew. Alright. You guys have a nice weekend. I'll try to be a good boy and edit a video. Mark, I'll try to edit a video when you shot the AK-5. And I'll see if I can get my thumb out of my ass and get that done and put it on the channel. And have that discussion about metric versus stupid American measurements in the background of you and me shooting. Right. See you guys. Have a nice weekend. I'm going to bed.